Music, and especially Christmas carols, are a big part of this holiday season. We all have our favorites, which range from spiritual to everyday carols. But what's the story behind Christmas music? For that, we turn now to Steve Kiltonic.
While Christmas music in general can be traced back to the 4th century, the word carol, or carol with an E, is a medieval word of French and Anglo-Norman origin, believed to mean a dance song or a circle dance accompanied by singing. It is unclear when the first carol was actually written, but it likely dates back to the 13th century. Lad Pfeiffer is the music director for St. Michael's Cathedral. He said that during this time in countries such as France, Germany, and Italy, St. Francis of Assisi developed a strong tradition of popular Christmas songs in regional languages.
Christmas was not a popular holiday in the church or in public imagination until the late Middle Ages. And I'd have to say Francis of Assisi probably gave it its biggest boost as an individual. He started encouraging nativity plays outside the churches before Christmas Mass, and they became popular.
During the 14th century, carols became a recognized religious song form, with the theme revolving around a saint, Christ child, or Virgin Mary, at times blending English and Latin.
In the 1870s, the cathedral choirs sort of got tired of the practice of going around caroling parishioners at their houses, and they decided to have a carol prayer service at the cathedrals. And the first one we know of, officially, in written record, is from 1878 at Truro Cathedral.
In what has become a Christmas tradition, the annual Lessons and Carols prayer service at St. Michael's Cathedral was held the night of December 16th before over 200 people. Pfeiffer directed the cathedral choir of boys and adults. Included was a string ensemble, handbells, and the cathedral Casavan organ. Springfield Bishop Mitchell Rosansky led the congregation in prayer during the 2-hour-long liturgical event. In 2001, Monsignor Richard Sneesick, then rector of the cathedral, instituted the popular Christmas service. The beginning was marked in darkness, which gradually progressed to light as the 9 scripture selections were read and 9 candles lit as the story of the Nativity was revealed. Performed were various choir anthems from classical masters like Benedictus by Sir Edward Elgar. Pfeiffer resurrected a rarely heard version of Gloria in Excelsis Deo by Vivaldi. Some of the more well-known and beloved Christmas carols were also sung, such as O Come, Emmanuel, and Hark, the Herald Angels Sing. As well as the First Noel. St. Bonaventure is thought to have written, O Come, All Ye Faithful. One of the most popular carols of all time is Silent Night, although it wasn't performed during this service. In 1818, Joseph Mohr was the pastor of a tiny church in Obendorf, a small village near Salzburg, Austria. Mohr was inspired to write a poem a couple of years earlier that he thought would make for a good carol at the Christmas Eve Mass. He gave the church organist, Franz Gruber, only a couple of hours to come up with a melody. Gruber responded with a timeless masterpiece.
He asked if the organist, could you write something to these words and I could play it on the guitar? And so the organist did that evening, and they rehearsed it and they did it at midnight Mass.
Father Mohr's simple carol remains his legacy. Silent Night is now sung in more than 300 different languages around the world. Pfeiffer said his goal each year is to give his audience first an overview of the liturgical season and then have them pause and take a deep breath.
It's not a concert. The music might be grand, great and glorious, but it's a prayer service. The focus is all on preparing for the coming of Christ. And that's what I hoped to give people, a moment to reflect. It's a way of having a retreat before Christmas.
While the Lessons and Carols prayer service here at St. Michael's was traditional, the Christmas Carol Festival at Our Lady of Mount Carmel was more interactive and family-oriented. The season's first winter storm couldn't keep Our Lady of Mount Carmel from being filled to near capacity as parishioners, family, and friends sang faith-filled traditional carols, listened to inspirational stories, and relived the miracle of Christmas at the parish's first Christmas Carol Festival, held December 10th. Father Robert White said the idea for the festival grew out of the parish's evangelization efforts.
We invited families, we invited individuals, we invited as many people as we possibly could reach out to come and participate and enjoy a reflection on the true spirit of Christmas, because it's so easily commercialized today, and we're trying to bring people back to a more spiritual focus.
Music director Tony Romeo led the parish choir in song. Sung were other carol favorites like Joy to the World, Angels We Have Heard on High, and It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. A brief history of each carol was also presented. During the hour-long event, several parishioners shared their personal stories of Christmas. Bill D'Amato and Rose Costa, who serve on the parish's organizing committee, attended a festival workshop last summer and were instantly sold on the program.
We're the only parish in Western Massachusetts that's doing this, so we're delighted to welcome our parishioners, the community, people of all faiths.
Many families attended, as old and young alike participated in the festival activities. One involved writing a petition, prayer, or thought on a piece of straw left on the benches.
And then they will ceremoniously bring it up and place it in the manger before the baby Jesus is brought in. So, and then all of those petitions and thoughts will be put in our creche for the entire Christmas season, where the baby Jesus will lay.
The afternoon culminated with children from religious education classes reenacting the nativity scene. After the festival ended, attendees were offered refreshments in the church hall and given a homemade star cookie and a devotional packet of booklets.
It's not about the gifts, it's not about the parties and the dinners, it's about the birth of the Christ child and his fundamental reason for coming here, to save all of us. And hopefully people will go home and have that kind of stay with them, through the remainder of Advent and into the Christmas season.
Organizers said the Carol Festival will likely return next holiday season because of the great turnout and interest this year. For Reel to Reel, I'm Steve Kiltonic.